Welcome to the space, everybody. This is a beautiful, beautiful morning. Normally, this is my accountability call time. So, had to wake up a little extra early to meet my friend from halfway around the world, Justin Yip. And I'm really excited. Yeah, and everyone is here smiling. And what I'd love to do is just start off with what time zone you in? What time is it there right now? I just want to get the party started, get us flowing, get us going. Because for me, I had to do my little breath work and drop in, and now I'm sitting in the forest, 9 a.m. Holy cow, similar to me. And while you guys are looking at all the crazy time zones from around school, what I'd love to do is just kind of open up the space, and then I want to kick it right over to Justin. I don't want to jump in and starting getting too strict on it. So what I invite everyone to do is just take a long, slow, deep belly breath in with me, and relaxing down and out. As we invite a few others to the space, deep belly breath in and relaxing down and out because we're all heart centered entrepreneurs. Last one, let's hold at the top, deepest inhale, holding at the top just for a moment and relaxing down and out. And the intention that I would like to set for the space today is twofold. I love to set the intention for alignment because we have an aligned entrepreneur in the space, Mr. Justin. And I really love that word. I'd love to dive into it and break it down a little bit of what it means to him. And the second word that I'd like to introduce into the space, the second intention is connection. So if you guys could just take a moment to look around the space, and what I find fun to do, especially when we're in a room full of brand new people, some familiar faces, some brand new people. I just want you guys just to find yourself drawn to somebody, just naturally, intuitively, the alignment speaking. And hopefully it's a new face because at the end of the call, maybe you'll remember the name. Maybe you'll find them on school. Maybe you'll send them a DM and become a lifelong friend or a co creative collaborator like me and Justin. And as you do that, just take a nice deep breath in, see the smile starting to form, and out. And with that, the container's set. I would love to just start by saying thank you everyone for being here. Justin, I'm going to kick it over to you to introduce yourself because you've known you much longer than I have. Yeah, and then we'll kick off with some questions, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm Justin and James referred to me as the aligned entrepreneur. But
Yeah.
really I believe if you resonate with it, we're all aligned entrepreneurs. And we're all here on school. And I was just talking about this with some colleagues. It's just your school community is what you're a rallying point for. Right? So the rallying point of my school community, the Aligned Entrepreneur Network, is how can I be a rallying point for other entrepreneurs who resonate with this word, align? And you asked the question, James, I'll go into it a bit. Align is just it just feels right. Aligned entrepreneurs, we have similar values, we have similar views, similar philosophies. We have this identification of being heart-centered or being people of purpose who care. And the thing about that is, um, I align with James. Some people are here from James's community. Some people are here from my community. And if you align with James, and I'm aligned with, if you align with James, if you align with me, the people we know are more likely to be aligned. So that's kind of the dynamic of like cross-pollination and alignment. And I was joking, not even a joke, like cool people know other cool people and cool places. So it could be said that aligned people know other aligned people in aligned spaces, right? So just sharing some of that. To introduce myself, I'm from California, but I'm in Thailand. I used to be a school teacher. Now I believe that if you have purpose, if you have care, if you have wisdom, experiences that can transform people's lives, then you may be meant to be an entrepreneur. You may be meant to share that with your audience, your clients, your customers, with your community. And, I could say I help with marketing and sales, but I believe that there's a U-shaped hole in the world. Like you could feel that hole. You're the only one, right? If you don't share your experiences and your wisdom with your audience, your clients, that hole's never filled. So that said, I believe in identity aligned strategy for marketing and sales because there's a lot of strategies out there. All the strategies work. They definitely don't all work at the same time, which I see a lot of people struggling with. And all the strategies, they don't work for you as a unique individual you are. So I believe in understanding who you are first and understanding the fundamentals of marketing and sales and business growth so that you can play. You can understand the frameworks, the foundations of marketing, sales, and business growth. And then you can have it your way. Yeah.
Oh man, is anyone else already taking notes? I don't know about you guys. I already wrote down there's a U-shaped hole in the world, and
Yeah.
I
It's a
love
good
that.
one.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And I really like this idea of the spider web or the great web, the weaving. And what I found and what I kind of want to have a conversation about is the difference between what you've seen on social media and the difference between the culture of social media, the culture of school. Because once I found school and really got in here, man, I found people like me. And maybe you guys can drop it in the chat because I love engagement. I feed off of like people connecting and receiving that feedback. So if you guys want to interact in the chat, please have side conversations. I'm not going to tune in because I have a squirrel brain and I'll get distracted. But you guys start asking questions, tune into the chat, and engage, and ask some questions. And the first thing I love to do is just ask, where did you guys actually come to the meeting from? So drop a one in the chat if you came from James's space. Whoop whoop. I know I got a couple people in the space. And drop a two in the chat just so we can see, the cross pollination in real time. Drop a two in the chat if you came from Mr. Yip's uh, journey. Yeah, and I want you guys to just check it out. Like, this is what it looks like. You guys can be doing the same exact thing. And I'll kick it over to Justin. When it comes to the difference between the culture of social media and the culture of school, as a marketer, as an aligned entrepreneur, what do you see is the opportunity there and the difference?
I'm really glad you're the host because you're really good at it, James. I'll just say,
I'm a
man.
hypnotist. I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hypnotist. Yeah, you're
So,
getting sleepy.
so I'll say that as a marketer or someone who doesn't just want you to share your purpose and your wisdom, I want you to receive the positive energy of beautiful money, right? You help clients and customers in the way that you can, only you can, and you're well compensated for that. So one thing I remind myself often that I learned from one of my mentors, one of my first marketing mentors, is that conversations about desired outcomes lead to sales.
Mm,
So you have that passion, you have that purpose, you want to solve that problem in a unique way that only you can for other individuals. You got to invite people to talk about the outcomes that they want. So in talking about community and school communities, what I see communities as is containers for lots of conversations. So within those conversations, how do you invite more people to have conversations about the desired outcomes that they want with you as the steward, with you as the host? And community and school for business is an interesting dynamic because within a community, and I think almost everyone here has a school community. If not, then you're in a school community. It's a balance of honoring relationships with your members, but also inviting them to do business with you. So it's an interesting balance between relational and transactional. And I've seen some communities that are overly relational, and I just know that the owner's not making as much money as they can. And there's some communities that are overly transactional and they're not capitalizing on the dynamics that they can have with more positive relationships. And when James and I connected, we talked about balance and integration and yin and yang, and we didn't even talk much about business. It was just like we just knew that we could jive and flow into all these different things, which is why I know I can talk about these things because I talk about these things with James all the time. So we're sharing with you the conversation that we often have. Um, and the culture of social media outside of school, just to touch on that, because I am a marketer. And as a marketer, I say you got to find that platform where it's easy for you to have conversations with your audience with the desired outcomes that they want because you're the service provider. If they don't talk about the outcomes that they want, then you're not going to get the clients, you're not going to get the sales. And if there's no conversations at all, then you're definitely not going to have conversations about outcomes. And that's kind of how I feel about Facebook or LinkedIn or these other social media platforms. It's really hard to have authentic conversations with people. And if it's hard to have any sort of authentic conversation with people, how are you going to have conversations with them about how you can help them? One example is I have a new friend on Facebook. They send me a request or I send them a request. Connection, you think.
Mhm.
I message them genuinely because I'm a curious guy. Same way I've started conversations with a lot of you. Crickets. Nothing. Even though we're technically friends on Facebook or technically we've made a connection on LinkedIn. On school, I never encounter that. I almost never encounter that. You see someone in the community, you start a conversation, and it's mutual. Like there's such intentionality with school right now, and I believe it's because it's not the standard. Like Facebook is a standard, LinkedIn is a standard. Because school, you have to opt in and learn it. There's more intentionality there, and I think it's a great space to be in for this time. And I hope it doesn't change, because once upon a time, like Facebook was incredible. So I say we enjoy school for what it is now, and just hope it doesn't change.
Yeah, man, and I've had a very very similar experience. And as a hypnotherapist and a master coach, I love words and I love the magic of words. And I just think it's so interesting. It just like kind of makes me really bubbly and excited just to know that these guys have changed a word, school, that I hated. I hated school. I don't know if you guys, I spent a lot of my high school in detention. Right? I wasn't stupid. I thought I was stupid because I didn't fit into the little box that everyone tried to put me in. Clearly, I'm in the woods talking to someone halfway around the world about fun, cool stuff, right? But they changed one letter. They just put it a K instead of the CH, and all of a sudden made it colorful. And now it's a vibrant rainbow of people, and they're really good at culture setting. And I love studying the unconscious mind and people and behavior. And that's why heart-centered sales is such a fun, easy topic to talk about, because once you know people and their hearts, well, all you have to do is put something on the table that will fill their hearts up, and then it's an easy yes. I don't believe in pressure. I don't believe in pushing, and I know how to take the knife and stab the pain point.
Hmm.
But does anyone here resonate with that? I don't think
Yeah.
we probably do. And one of the things I saw as a difference between the culture is social media is shaped kind of like a pyramid. It's shaped with like there's a personality on top, and everyone follows them, right? And you have to hook people in order to grab their attention. I don't know last time you've been grabbed and pulled in. That doesn't feel very good, right? I used to be a dance instructor, and it's like I would tell the guys, "Hey, if she does this, it doesn't mean pull closer, bub." You know? But here on school, what I found is it's more like a circle, and instead of a person being on top, it's more of like you said, it's like there's a facilitation happening, of course, you know, but everyone's gathering to talk about and to look at something that's important to them that they value instead of just a person. And when that happens, boom, 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 we start to ping off of each other, and something starts to bubble up and build, and heat starts to build. And then really cool natural chemical reactions happen in the container that the leader creates. And the leader doesn't really have to do too much either. He says, hey, let me drop a little question. Hey guys, what do you think about this chat today? right? So I love to hear now. I'd actually very interested in your story a little bit, right? Because you guys, we just met like a month ago, I think in Synthesizer or something. He was
Yeah,
like, "Hey man, you seem cool. Hey James, you seem cool." So then we talked and we talked for like an hour and we just it just came out of us.
yeah,
So what I'd love to know is a little bit more about your backstory. What got you into marketing specifically? Because I'm more of a sales and cry guy. They used to call me the cry guy. Um, now sales is a little bit easier. Um, what got you into the field of marketing and entrepreneurship? Because everyone has their
yeah.
moment of this is what I do. And I'd love to hear what that is for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So good. There's so many things we can talk about, and I have to like to choose which one to focus on now. I want to
I
go through
know.
all these different timelines. Which timeline do I actually want to bring into this moment right now? So it's funny when you said that you used to hate school because I used to be a school teacher.
Oh no, you'd probably be the cool one that I liked.
Everyone loved me. I was not very good at bringing the discipline. Like I just couldn't do it. But everyone loved me, and they learned because I encouraged them. And one thing I was just talking about with a colleague just earlier today was that the relationship empowers the learning, right? You want to learn from someone you like. And if you're a coach or you're an expert consultant, I think sometimes that's missing, especially when it comes to business coaching. Sometimes it's too informational or too much about the strategy. But relationships help you learn because there's a dynamic where you want to learn from that person. Um, so I'll tell you another thing about the school. So we all know there's the schoolers community, right? If you have a school, then you're in the schoolers community. My first post in the schoolers community a year ago was from school teacher to school, and they pinned it for a few days because I'm like the avatar of school, like someone who had a previous thing before, and now they have a community on school they're looking to monetize. Um, Another thing that comes to mind is when you were talking about kind of this extractive marketing. So I believe in more invitational marketing, and I'll also share with you how I got into marketing. But I also really believe in polarities. And if you think about polarities, one of the most definitive polarities is the yin and yang polarity. It's the feminine polarity and the masculine polarity. And I believe even in marketing, we need a balance of that. And you're going to have a dominant. I'm not saying because you're female, you're going to have the dominant feminine polarity of marketing or vice versa. But the feminine dynamic of marketing is just attraction, right? You pull people in. There's that charm, there's that beauty, there's that essence. It comes closer to you. And the yang dynamic is just like being seen. It's going out there. It's being heard. It's strutting your stuff. But you need a balance. Because if you only let people come to you and you're not putting yourself out a little bit, then people don't even know that you're attracting. So the way I see it is that balance is like you got to be visible, you got to get out there, and then you let the people come to you. And I've seen it again, like overly in one way, like overly just putting yourself out there too much and not letting people come to you at all. And then people just waiting for everyone to come to them and they're not even being visible. So as you can see, like I think a lot about marketing. Like I'm talking about yin and yang in marketing. There's something about it that makes it fun to play with the concepts. So, I also talk about the hero's journey and I talk about how you're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you used to be. So at one time, I knew nothing about marketing, but I wanted to go out there and get customers and clients. And before I had ownership over my own offers, before I helped other people with business growth, I got into insurance. It was an MLM, so it was network marketing and insurance, which was an interesting story. And then I got into affiliate marketing, so I didn't have to worry about the product, but I'd have to worry about marketing. I knew nothing at all. So I'll tell you like some of the things that I did wrong. I spent $1,500 to buy 10,000 followers on Instagram because I thought that would help my business. No one told me what I told everyone here is that conversations about desired outcomes lead to sales. If someone told me that, it would have saved me so much money and so much time. And in insurance, I had a mentor who said, just talk to your friends and family. Sell them insurance. I'm like, I'm a school teacher. They don't want to buy insurance from me, but they'll buy from you because they have a relationship with you. Just like invite them to a conversation with me and I'll tell them about insurance because it's the MLM dynamic, your war market. Um, and I said, no, I'm going to learn to do this myself. I'm going to go on this thing called social media and find my own clients on Facebook. And I had no guidance. I just figured it out, messaged people, did it wrong, got blocked, joined Facebook groups. And then because I had to learn, because I wanted to learn, then I began to test and try what worked, what didn't work, invested in some programs and just learn from different mentors. And really, it's just how do you attract people to your brand? How do you invite people to have that conversation with you about something they're interested in? So that's some of it. That's some of how I got into marketing. And then it's just fun to play within the realm of marketing. I don't know how else to explain it. Because it's really just how do you invite people in? How do you invite people in a way that honors you and honors them is how I look at it.
I love that, man. Yeah, so school teacher and then got the urge, got the invitation, started to expand outwards into the fun levels of multi. I had the same thing, you get invited to an Amway meeting and this is, my story. And then, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make $1 million. You guys, we're gonna be rich. And then you pay them $200 and then you have to invite your mom and your dad and your brother and your sister and your uncle and your cousin to some kind of meeting. And then they're giving them the same pitch. And you're like, hey guys, I thought we were going to be rich. No one's buying anything. And it feels really slimy and sleazy. It's like, I'll kind of hurt the relationship that I built for a long time. And it felt really weird. So I really, really resonate with that. And, one of the things about me is when I was growing up, I really struggled with connection. I needed connection. My mom worked 3 jobs, dad was homeless. So like I was just kind of by myself a lot, getting bullied, getting picked on. And one of the things I needed the most was connection, love, physical touch. But I always felt weird and not good enough and on the outside, you know? So when I found dance, I got all my needs met, all my needs. I got to hang out with people. People liked hanging out with me. Eventually, I got to teach, so people were looking up to me. I got some status. I got to physically hold people and breathe with them for like 30 minutes every week. And I really started to learn the value of community. The value of community. And one of the things I realized is putting yourself out there. And I think we have a question from um, yeah, from Karina. Just because it was relevant what you were saying, being seen. She said, "What would you say to someone who is struggling with being seen on social media and reluctant to be more visible?" And just to give a little 30-second introduction, I found that when you have a safe place to step inside of, being seen isn't that hard. There's a little moment of like, what if people judge me? What if people don't like me and I'm rejected and abandoned and then I'll die? Right? That's the energy we get. I had that a little bit before coming on this call. I chatted with Justin about it. It happens every
Mm,
single time.
yeah.
But when you know the alignment's there, and I trust Justin, and I trust that Justin has the alignment and the connected people, what am I afraid of? What are you guys going to judge me for? I'm weird too.
Mm.
Right? So I would love to hear your thoughts on being seen, putting yourself out there, and how you specifically kind of angle and position the putting yourself out there, because it's not really about you, what I'm hearing. It's about the shared connection. It's about the network. It's about offering value first. And then if there's alignment, hey, I think we should have another conversation a little bit more about that specific problem you got, because I think I can support. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on putting yourself out there and being seen on social media and in school.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And I've struggled with it. I'm year three or
Yep.
year four in my entrepreneur journey. I remember when it was so uncomfortable to go on social media live, on Facebook Live, or even to go into a clubhouse room if you know Clubhouse and to speak and have people hear your voice and then recording yourself on and video to be shared with your audience. So uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And this also goes back to what I was saying earlier with the U-shaped hole in the world, right? Like if you're not visible, then you're not going to fill that hole. If you're not visible, then the people that you can help are not going to find you. So the way I like to think about it is there's almost like a calling or responsibility to show up even though you're uncomfortable. Because it is the hero's journey. And the hero has to face their challenges. The hero has to face themselves to overcome those challenges. And a lot of it leads to going inward. Like, why am I so reluctant to be seen? Why am I so reluctant to be visible? And I believe in shadows and gifts, you know? So if someone is reluctant to be visible, then what is the gift from that? Like maybe they need to be more visible so that they can show others. We were actually just talking about this, James. You mentioned it, and I'll say it honestly, like, even though James and I are co-hosting this, and I think we're doing quite a good job because we have a good dynamic and we know each other. I was a little bit nervous before we came on. James was a little bit nervous before we came on. And I said, James, we have to do this because it's uncomfortable for other people out there too. So we have to expand our comfort zone and we have to show up even though we're uncomfortable because we have to show others that they gotta host, they gotta lead, they gotta invite, they gotta bring the value. So it's this responsibility to overcome your shadows and to be visible because there's other people who have to overcome that too. And the more you transform, the more you can guide transformation is what I would say. Um, so I'd say that like what do you believe in so much that you want to show up that you can't like not answer that calling? And I also say find those safe comfortable spaces where you can begin to show up more, where you can practice showing up knowing that the people get you, knowing that they understand. And you're all invited to join my community, Align Networking, the Align Entrepreneur Network. I'll say that every Monday we have a networking call. And I thought the benefit of the networking call was that there's people networking and they're meeting each other. But in hearing what people said from attending the networking call, they said, Justin, this is a great safe space to practice talking about who I am, to practice saying what I do. And I'm like, wow, I had no idea that was a benefit. So, in, bringing things together, like if you're looking to practice saying who you are and what you do, our Monday calls are a great space for that, where you also say who you are and what you do. And you may meet some other cool entrepreneurs. You may join their communities. They may join yours. You may jump on networking calls after the large group networking call. Because like 20 people who come, and there's introductions, there's breakout rooms, and then from that you can sense the alignment with someone if it's worth getting on a one-to-one networking call after. Because I've had it before, I'm sure we've all had it. You do a networking call with someone, and you're just like, oh man, this is terrible. Why am I here? So in a group networking call, you sense that alignment, and you know who's reaching out to connect with more. Um, so that said, like we've all been there. We've all been there, right? And whatever you overcome also empowers you to empower someone else. So that's what I'd say in regard to the struggle with being visible. Yeah.
I love that so much. And this is why I think leadership and mentorship is so important because I remember my very first life coach. And it was so fun. His name was Spee the Spartan. His name is Spee the Spartan. I don't know if he still goes by that, but he was just one of those incredibly wise people. And he was helping my friend group. And everyone was like, hey, you should talk to Spee, have a session with Spee. And I was like, I'll have a session with Spee the Spartan. That sounds cool enough. And one of the things he told me, I was beginning my life coaching journey in entrepreneurship. And he was like, what's it going to take for you to feel confident? Like what's it actually going to take? And I was like, I had to think about it. And I was like, I think I have to start an LLC and then I'll be official. Then I can put myself out there. Right? Anyone ever feel that way? I have to get all the paperwork done so that I can say that I'm in business. That doesn't really help much with your confidence, right? But one of the things I like practical tools and things. So one of the things he told me to do is go into the bathroom when you have some time, look in the mirror, wherever the mirror is, and actually ask yourself these questions because you can't lie to yourself. You maybe if you're like kind of ruminating in your head, you can like, oh yeah, well, maybe, and you can be nice to yourself and kind of let yourself slide. But when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're seeing your little micro movements, micro facial movements. You're hearing the tone of your voice. And if you're really honest with yourself, you're going to get some crazy answers. And I'm a crazy person. So one of the things I asked was, what's the name of my higher self? So I'm sitting there in the bathroom. I'm like, all right, let me try this stupid thing with Speed the Spartan. I look in the mirror and I say, all right, bub, what's the name of your higher self? And instantaneously it came back, Rockcliffe Dong. I was like, Rockcliffe Dong, what the heck is that? What does that mean? So I sat down and I had to like research it and I kind of came to Rock Clifton, which is Clifton means, town by the cliff. It's a surname. So I kind
Mm.
of came up with this symbolic understanding that my unconscious mind was trying to tell me before I knew about hypnosis. And Ra is the sun god, the death and rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes. And Clifton is the town by the cliff. So the image that I got, and I want to share this all with you guys, is I'm the kind of person, my higher self is a spiritual cliff jumper. I'm the kind of person that runs at the cliff's edge, knowing that I'm not going to be caught. I'm going to fall flat on my face and splat down below and die. But in doing that, I jump off and I cease to be who I was into the great unknown. And then what happens is when I rise like a phoenix, because it always happens, I've been through it enough times. I've mapped out the dark night of the soul. It's not that hard, it's 6 steps. So if you jump off into the unknown, you face all those challenges. But what happens is when you rise, the cliff's edge, the known, now extends a few feet. So by you guys going out and following those intuitions, following those calls, following the aligned connections, following the healing journey, following the entrepreneurship, following leading step, 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 you have no idea where you're going. You are pushing the boundaries of the comfort zone. You're pushing the boundaries of familiarity. And eventually, when you find yourself in a leadership position, which entrepreneurship is leadership, you guys, healing is leadership, you guys, what happens is you've extended that space so far out beyond the town of the cliff that the town can now expand without needing to go through the crazy death because you're like, hey, the water's warm, you guys. It's fine. Come on in, join us. This is fine, right? So I really like this concept of never above, never below, always beside you. I heard that from Sacred Sons. Never above, never below, always beside you. So I kind of see me and Justin as, we're walking. If you want to go fast, go alone. And if you
Mm.
want to go far, go together. Right? So here we are together, you guys. How far do you want to go? That's my question for the group. How far do you want to go? And I'm going to turn it back over to Justin, if you want to touch on that, and I can look at the next question. If you guys have questions, drop it in the
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. Yeah, we're
What are
here
your thoughts, my
to
brother?
respond. Yeah, yeah. So, I'll bring what you just expressed to that dynamic of being more visible because I think this is one that's actually quite common. And I know it's quite common because I speak with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of emerging entrepreneurs. So what I like with what you shared, James, is you chose the story of who you are. So I say this a lot. I mean, I mentioned it before. I believe in identity aligned marketing and sales. Your identity is what either causes resistance to you showing up and being visible, or it's what empowers you to show up. So, invitation, if you're out there and you're struggling to show up and be more visible, and I invite you to do that, but I'm also inviting myself because there are days when I'm reluctant to show up still. It's just what is the story I'm telling myself about why I don't want to show up? Or what is the story I'm telling myself about why I gotta show up because people out there need me? And what is the empowered identity dynamic? Like just have fun with it. Like what I love with what James shared, it was so fun. It's so fun. How can you not show up? Showing up is fun. Finding your people is fun. Business is fun. Prospecting is fun. Marketing is fun. Sales conversations are fun. And when you make it fun, I know James is nodding because he's all about fun. It's just easy to do the things when it's fun. So yeah, I think I'll leave with that, and I look forward to the next question.
Yeah, that just, and this is why I alignment, you guys. If you see me, I'm beaming right now because my highest value, I hired a really expensive business coach a long time ago, and she's like, "You got to build a business that's aligned with your values, James." And I was going through all the questions and this and that, and I was like, "What's my highest value?" And to be honest with you, my whole life, my highest value has just been I want to do fun, cool shit. That's my highest value, right? I want to be the old guy at the end of my life, sitting on a porch in a rocking chair and yelling at the kids, get off my grass. Cause I had one of those in my neighborhood. Get off my grass. But then I go and talk with her, and I'd help her mow her lawn. And so she had one boundary. Don't touch my grass, you little kid. But then she would tell me stories. But in order to tell stories, you have to do fun, cool things to tell worthy stories about. So with that being said, fun, cool shit, and identity by design. That's my realm. So aligned identity marketing, and I love designing identities consciously, so that you can put it on like a wizard's cloak or like a dancer's flamenco. You get the little rose in your mouth, and now all of a sudden you've been transformed into this beautiful expression of an archetype of a character, and maybe you have trouble stepping out into the field and being seen. But I spent, from 5 to 18 in every Christmas pageant in my church. So I was Joseph 10 times. I got married 10 times, the 10 different Marys. I was a tree. My little brother was the three wise guys. They weren't wise men, the three wise guys, and they were like the comic relief. We had a triceratops one year in our Christmas pageant because the pastor is just incredible community person. I love her, Judy. She's what like gave me my desire to connect and lead. Um, she was a theater major. So she knew if you get people engaged, if you let them create their own lines in the Christmas pageant, if you let them create their own characters, their own costumes, then what happens is people buy into the vision because they
Mm.
made it. So school is so good because we can just ask you guys, which we're about to do right now, what's your question? What's your dream? What's your passion? And then as creators, we can instantly get that feedback, start to synthesize it. If you're not in synthesizers, it's a cool group. You start to synthesize the dots and the connections, and all of a sudden, you're no longer just the guy making the thing. You are weaving a tapestry with everyone in the community, and everyone feels included. So, what I love to do is open it up for Q&A. Everyone, let's take a deep belly breath in and out. And I'll try and tone down my excitement a little bit. I had my go-go juice this morning. And what I love to do is if you guys have questions for me or Justin for the next half of the conversation, we're just going to open it up, open the container, pop the top off, no glass ceiling. Just raise your hand. There's a little button down below that says react. I had to learn this. Uh, and just hit raise your hand and it'll pop you up here. And we're just going to try and get to as many people, and we'll share the gold nuggets, plop them down and in front of you. And whatever resonates, what I want you to do is I want you to take those golden nuggets and treat them like seeds, whatever it is. If it's just one thing you're taking from the call today, pull out the gold nugget, pull out the seed, water it, and do something with it, right? Because nothing gets done if you don't do anything. So me and Justin are going to give you practical things, practical knowledge and wisdom. Plant it, water it, and over the course of a moon or a season, if you do that diligently, whether it's just I'm going to make more connections. If you do that for 3 months, you're going to have a lot of people in your school, right? but you have to water it and you have to be intentional with it. So, with that being said, hands raised for anyone who wants to get their questions asked. I have a couple backups if we need it, but I want to give you guys an opportunity live on the call to jump in. So I'll lower my hand, and if there's no questions, maybe we're just tranced out. Okay, cool. Very good. Pamela was first, and then Augusto. Raise your hand so I see it. So we'll go Pamela, Arthur, and Augusto. Go for it, Pamela.
Mentioned in the hero's journey that there was 6 steps. I've seen a lot more. Can you quickly point out the 6 steps on the journey that have been
Oh,
really helpful for you? Is that a long one?
no, no, I can go through really quick. I can do it in 10 seconds or 6 months. It's up to you guys. And then I'll kick it over to Justin because he has his own map and vision. So basically we all start in confusion. Confusion's like a circle, and we keep asking the questions, but we keep getting the wrong answer, and we don't know where to go. It's unknown. And the step after confusion is clarity. And most of us get stuck here because we know the answer, but now I'm wrong. Shame of being wrong is the villain on step number two. The inner bully. Get back to where you belong, kid. Right? So we have clarity. Now, if you have clarity on where you want to go, now what you have to do is you have to go into the valley of collapse. So it's confusion, clarity, then collapse. And most people don't want to go into collapse because it's grief, it's sad. You have to die to the old identity, the old beliefs, the old emotional habits, the shape of your body has to die. If you want to be confident, you can't do this anymore. You have to change the shape of your body and you have to heal some things. And if you go down into that valley enough with the water element, what happens is you seep into the unconscious mind where all the golden ore is. It's golden ore. It's the resources from childhood. It's the joy, the fun, the play, the creativity that we lost. We stuck down because we had to cut it off. But it's not full yet. It's not complete. So we have to melt it down with the fire energy. So collapse is down and in, and we have to go down with the water and cry in tears. And then the fire builds, and we start to express the new self, express the new thing, express the new beliefs, the values, and try it out. And we raise the heat that comes up and out through breath, sound, and movement. And then the gold starts to melt and the impurities start to burn off, right? So there's the collapse and then there's the come up. And this is where people get stuck. They don't like to touch anger. I'm afraid to be angry because I'll hurt people. You need it. You can't melt something without the fire. Good luck. Good luck trying to transform without fire. And then you hit fear. So you're coming up, coming up, coming up, and then block. And this is the protection mechanism from childhood. And you have to surrender past it. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway, the come up, and then you have to commit. I'm committed, hell or high water, whatever comes. I'm on a 300-mile journey and I'm 76 miles in. Uh-oh. Can't turn back because that's a long way back, but it's a long way forward, right? So once you commit, then you have to become consistent. And the consistency builds the steps, step by step, to get to your new level and to your new comfort zone, new place of solidity, the earth element. And from there, people think they're done, but then it just starts all over. Now you're just confused again about the next level. So that's my little map. Justin, what do you think about the hero's journey and how people transform and start to put themselves out there?
Yeah, well, I know earlier in this call you mentioned the word archetypes, and when you said archetypes, like my brain and my heart, my being opened up because I believe that our archetypes and our patterns of human behavior, there's a lot of insight into the journey that we're meant to make through understanding these. And there's a lot, and I could go on for hours talking about all the different archetypes and all the different shadows and the subconscious motivations that get in the way of achieving what we want to based on these archetypes. So I really see it as archetypes being, in a lot of ways, a map for our growth trajectory or our integration or transforming our shadows into gifts. So one that I often like to talk about, which is quite simple, is the warrior, the magician, and the lover. So the warrior is the doer, the magician is the thinker, the lover is the fueler, which is also the body, the mind, and the heart. And I believe that we have a relationship with one of those more than the others. So you have a dominant lover, or you have a dominant wizard, or you have a dominant doer. And to talk about some of the shadows of each of these briefly. So the doer, the warrior, they're uncomfortable when they're not taking action. So they're very reactive. They're very confrontational. They are very feisty. These are individuals who are prone to overwhelm and burnout. So for them, the balance is to understand that shadow of overdoing and not being able to relax, and understanding that if they remove the heaviness of like, I'm gonna die, everything's gonna fall apart if I don't take action, to relieve that heaviness, they can take even more empowered action because there's no longer any fear of not taking action. And then the thinker, the magician, amazing abilities for analysis, observation. So what is their shadow? Over analysis, overthinking, over observation. These are people who get stuck in their heads because it's comfortable. So they have such mental faculties and mental prowess, like innovation, systems, but they get caught in these things, right? So if you understand that shadow, then you understand how to, again, relieve the heaviness. Like, what happens if I don't think? What happens if I don't observe? What happens if I don't analyze? Again, you relieve that fear of not doing it, and you analyze and observe and innovate even more effectively because you've transformed, that hero's journey, right? From overthinking to thinking, from being scattered to being focused. And the feeler, I have a soft spot in my heart for the feeler because I'm pretty sure, or I know that I'm a feeler. I have a dominant relationship with my feelings. It's overfeeling. It's you don't take action if things don't feel right. Um, and the ability of that is, well, you want to connect with others, and I can talk about this. So I have a fear of not connecting with people, and it's heavy, it's shadowy. But for me to let go of that fear and heaviness of not connecting, I connect with people more effectively. So again, awareness of your archetypes and your patterns, I feel really help you to go on that hero's journey and to even complete that hero's journey. So that's one of my favorite like tools or pathways, the warrior, the magician, and the lover.
I love that so much. Anyone drop what's your dominant archetype in the chat? And Pamela, thank you so much for that question. Do you have any follow up quickly?
No follow up. This was great. Thank you so much. I have like 2 pages of notes, one for each of you. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you. And I dropped it as a little fun little plug in the chat. If anyone wants to know what their archetype is and chat with Justin, book a call. He's a
Yeah.
network marketing genius whiz. He'll chat you up just like me. Um, very, very good. That's so much fun. And I don't know about you guys, but I had to cut off my lover for a very long time in business. I had a specific conversation. The book is really good. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. Very good
Yeah.
book. And in the back of the book, they say, what you should do is you should sit down. And if anyone wants to do this, you can do it tonight. Just like when I talked in the mirror. Sit down and just talk with those archetypes inside of you. They'll answer back. And I just write because I think fast, so I type instead of write, but writing helps you like really be in the body. But I was typing as fast as I could go, and I would just say K, and then the king would talk, and then M, and the magician would talk, and I just started having this conversation in my head, and I didn't realize how much pain my warrior's been in because I had let the lover take over my life. Dance, music, singing, art, play, flow. I used to call myself a flow boy. I'm flow, man. We don't need none of that structure. F that. Forget that. But in order to be a business owner, I needed to activate my conscious warrior who was more like a samurai. And he's like, you have betrayed me, bro. You have thrown me away. And I protected you this whole time. So just having a conversation with these different parts of yourself, because they exist in all of us, man, woman, child. If you have a conversation and really get to know thyself, then you also simultaneously know others because it's all patterns. It's all patterns. So thank you so much for that, Pamela. Very good. And just, just because I just want to shout out Will for a second, Will Carter, just because his setup, bro, is ooh, it's calling me, man. I feel like I need to talk to Will now and just have like a Star Wars themed marketing conversation, something like it just makes me really happy. Sorry, ADD. So if anyone wants to talk to Will, I don't know him, but hello.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Will's a cool guy. Yeah, yeah. You guys get
he looks
along.
like it.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks like it. Yeah. So beautiful. Let's jump on over to Mr. Pendragon. I love that name. I don't know. I love dragons. Pendragon's my favorite. So, Mr. Pendragon, what's your question for us, my brother?
Oh, I was just going to say I really resonate with the archetypes, as you can tell. Yeah, knights, wizards, lovers. I actually got a lovers card from Nancy in her group. I think it was yesterday or today. Brilliant. That sort of fits in with exactly what I'm about at the minute, the knights, the wizards, and the lovers. So it's given me a little bit of direction to maybe steer back to my lover side a little bit. So yeah, thank you for that, Nancy. One of the questions I was going to ask is obviously this is hopefully it's the right place to be asking it. The about page. I'm getting a lot of visitors, but then not as much conversion. Is there something that we need to tweak as a group?
Yeah, so I'll answer that one. I'll say that Arthur, I know we have a call coming up. We've been meaning to connect in a call. So on that call, as a marketer and as someone who's here to help you attract and find your people, more than open to give you a few direct pointers on that call that will benefit you. But to speak more generally to everyone who has an about page, if you have a school, again, it's just outcomes. Like I'm always thinking about outcomes. So, what are the outcomes that you want people to take action towards? Because essentially, marketing is getting people to take action for their own benefit that is also beneficial to you as the expert. So, if you can really indicate the outcomes that people are going to benefit from being in your community, then the conversions are likely to be quite good. Um, and conversions, you can track it. Like you can check how many people are checking your about page a day and you can see the conversions, right? So if you make some changes and it goes up, then that's a good indication. Um, and another thing about the about page, which is also just how do you talk about your community. I'll talk about something that I learned and something that I got wrong before and that might be insightful. And I find myself sharing the same information with others. So I learned that in having a school community, there's one of two ways to frame your community. It's one that you're the expert and you want people to join your community because you're the expert and you want them to learn from you. And the other is it's just a cool place to hang out. If people are passionate about this topic, this dynamic, then they're going to join because they want to hang out with people who are similar or have that same interest. So when I first had my community, my about page, like I'm the expert, learn marketing, sales, organic growth, and it just I personally didn't enjoy it. So now my focus on, hey, if you want to connect and hang out with other aligned entrepreneurs, this is the space for you, and my expertise is behind that. Or I'm still the expert, but it's more like, hey, the outcome is you get to meet other people like you because we're all passionate about that. And I'm the steward as the expert facilitating that space. So again, the outcome is like hang out with other people similar to you versus, hey, learn these cool things from me. I mean, they're both good, but think about what resonates with you more. Yes, a combination of the two, James. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now, but I'm still making the priority. Like, it's a cool place to hang out. And I'm also the expert who teaches marketing and sales, but really, come here for the networking calls. Come here for conversations with creators.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm so glad that you mentioned James because I was about to touch on that because that's perfect. And I'm not a marketing whiz, but I am a sales whiz, heart-centered sales. And one of the things you learn in sales is it's not about you at all. People don't care what it is you're selling. What they want is the value from the thing, and people find the emotional states and the experiences they get to have as the value. the emotional states and the experiences they get to have as the value, So if they want to go to a vacation in the Bahamas, they really don't care what plane they're taking. They want to get to the Bahamas. So you're the vehicle. You're going to get them from where they are to where they want to go if you can do that. If you can do that, be honest with people. Don't make all these Alex Hormozy promises and then give us all a bad name. The crazy impossible thing that no one can do. Well, you didn't follow through on it. I wonder why. But anyway, yes, the combination of the two, and the cool thing with hypnosis and learning language is it doesn't take many words to convey what you want to convey. So I don't, this isn't my thing, but I was helping one of my friends because I love helping friends, and he's a sensei. He's a third-degree black belt. He does breath work. He looks like Tony Stark and AI and all that. And he just has this vibe, but he doesn't know how to tell people. He's talking about all the cool things he likes to do. Oh, this is the modern technology. Da, 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 da. And I looked at the AI groups. I'm like, bro, you're not competing with the AI groups. That's not going to be your thing. Building something in your garage. That's not going to be your thing on school. But I said, you're a third-degree black belt who does men's work, who does breath work. So how about you talk about purpose, passion, fire, edge, third-degree black belt? That's all you need to say. I'm an authority now. Breath work, that's what we do. And then what are they going to get? Purpose, drive, edge. And now he's separated from all the 9D breathwork facilitators that are out there. Very specific. So that's just my one little practical thing. It's like, what's your title? And that instantly creates an authority. You don't have to toot your own horn. And then, like Justin said, what did they get? What's the outcome? What do they really want? Purpose, fire, edge, whatever it is for your ideal client avatar. And just come up with some juicy words and then book a call with Justin so he can wordsmith them. He can put them in the kiln and like fire them and put the nice glaze on it. So you have a pretty little piece of work of art. And then you can update as you go through the process. Because the about page, you can change it every week if you want.
Yeah.
So great question. Justin?
Yeah. Yeah. So good. Yeah. I'm flattered by all that. I like how you said that you can say what you want to say in less words because in the about page, you're invited to use 1,000 words. You don't need all 1,000 words. You can have 6 images. You don't need 6 images. You need clarity on the outcomes that people are going to experience by joining your community and make it very resonant. And another suggestion that I feel people don't take advantage of is just ask friends and colleagues for feedback. Post in James' community about some feedback on your about page. James will chime in. I'll chime in. Other members will chime in. Do it in my community. Can I get some feedback on this about page? I'm also big on feedback because I used to be a school teacher. So as a school teacher, I'm like a professional feedback giver and receiver, an expert at just feedback. Another thing that comes to mind about marketing and why I really enjoy it, and this comes to mind. Well, I used to also teach language arts, and marketing is kind of like playing with words. It's just fun to me. I like playing in the realm of marketing. And another thing that came to mind was how people have an interesting relationship with the word manipulation. I believe marketing is manipulation, and I believe that manipulation is actually neutral. It's about the intention of the manipulator that makes it ill manipulation, or manipulation that is in the advantage of who's being manipulated. So I also came up with like when you go to a magic show, the magician is totally manipulating the audience, but the audience knows they're being manipulated, but they go along with it because of the spectacle. So I kind of see marketing like that. Like how do we invite people to enjoy spectacle? How do we invite people into an experience that is beneficial for them? And again, it's all about the intention of the marketer or the brand that there are some tricks. You are playing with their perception. You might even be playing with their emotions, but the intention is to get them to take action into purchasing something that is beneficial for them. So that said, that's like the realm I like to play in. Like, how do you be the magician manipulating perception and emotions because you want people to buy something that is going to transform their lives? And I do like to work with like creators and coaches who offer transformation. It probably wouldn't be the same if you're like selling software. You know, I like to work with people who are really offering wisdom and transformation. So, yeah, just sharing that. James.
That's so good. That's so good. And this is just such this is so juicy. I really like the juice analogy. It's like we have these really juicy oranges and you guys, it's like one little question, we're like squeezing out all the little juice. So just a fun little thing. When I first started my school, I was green. I was like, I'm gonna make a classroom and I have all these programs. No one cares. No one cares until they know you and know that you care. So one of the things is I first named my group the Dragons Guild. So if you're to think about the Dragons Guild for a moment, what the hell does James do in the Dragons Guild? Maybe Dungeons and Dragons? I don't know. So it's like it's a cool name. It resonates with who I am, but what does it mean? What am I communicating to people who do have no idea who I am from Nancy or Kim, right? So what did I do? I went back to the drawing board and I asked myself, what do I do? I teach hypnosis. What if I name my group Learn Hypnosis? What if I name my group what it is? Learn Hypnosis. And then what if I put a neon sign behind the words Learn Hypnosis in a very weird color like purple? And if anyone types in hypnosis now on the discovery page, because I'm not going to get discovered. I'm not pickleball, you guys. That's where it's at. I should have been a pickleball coach. If you guys saw school news, right? But what happens now is if anyone teaches hypnosis, they're going to get hypnosis for weight loss, self hypnosis, da 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 da, and then they're going to get learn hypnosis in the top 3. So, what do you do? It's a verb. And then what is the thing? It's a noun. Hypnosis, learn. So that communicates in a very simple, practical way. And then you have the description in the about page. So just wanted to think about that. And when you start to implement, like I said, the gold nuggets you guys are taking away from Justin and me, quick 10-second commercial. Jessica, who is afraid to put herself out, she's not on the call. I'm so sad. She's going to catch the replay. I love it. She's been in my space for like 6 years and we're like peers. She's a therapist. She launched her stuff in December. Okay, not that long ago, about 2 months ago. She already has 70 members in her group because she asked my community, hey guys, what do you think about these names? She gave us 25 names and everyone polled. And then, okay, not those, it's these. Now between these 5, which one? Everyone polled and she got 25 different feedback votes. And then we all settled on the Mystical Moon Sisters. Now, when you hear the Mystical Moon Sisters, those 3 words communicate an atmosphere, a vibe, a way of seeing the world, the mystical moon sisters. There's no men allowed. Sorry, brothers. So in 3 words, she was able to position, to eliminate, and to call forward the right kind of people. And 70 people have raised their hands just by networking and doing what Justin Yip is telling you to do. So I just want you guys to think about that. It's not that hard. If you have the right little hypno goggles or the marketing goggles and you see. So book a call with Justin because I'm over on the sales side. If you want to raise your prices and work on money mindset, we'll talk over there. Let's go over to Mr. Augusto. You raised your hand. You didn't do the thing. And then we'll get to James. And I'm excited to meet James because we have something in common.
Hi,
Go ahead, Augusto.
yeah. So my question is on alignment and on demographics in terms of what market we're going to achieve in terms of all the different types of angles. But at the same time, it's to do with the level of intention and also showing up authentically in our presence. So my question is the importance of presence in marketing, in the intention of the goal or the atmosphere or the presence we are promoting into the team or into the actual product or service which we are promoting, and the intention of the energy we're giving into the service and the value through the presence and being authentic. That's the question.
Can I take this for 60 seconds, bro, and I'll kick it over to you?
You got it. Yeah, yeah. I'd like you
I'm
to
so
start.
excited.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so excited. Sorry, guys. So I learned from a master. I call him Yoda. He calls himself Darth Snyder, right? So it's fun how he can play with the dark and light and the yin and yang. But what I want to tune you in with, Augusto, and everyone else, is there's frequency, which is the rate and speed at which something goes up and down. That's the frequency. So a lot of us here are high frequency beings. We're loving beings. We're compassionate beings. We're authentic. We're accepting. We're peaceful beings. So we have a frequency which resonates with other people at that frequency. But what a lot of heart-centered, high frequency people have a problem with isn't the frequency, it's the amplitude. It's the amplitude. It's the juice that you put into it. Because what happens is if we have blocks around our throat, our belly, our womb space, shame, guilt, whatever it is, if we have some of those blocks, we can say all the right words. We can do all the right things. There's no juice in it. People don't feel. If you guys are tuning in with me right now, I got some juice, some amplitude. And when I start to expand my energy field, you guys start to smile too, and you can feel it. So you can have that high vibe. And have you ever met someone who's like been low vibe? It's like, oh, you walk into the room, it's just like, oh, I feel sticky, feel icky. Right? We've all met those people too. The problem is they have a low frequency, high amplitude. So they'll blow the fuse. They'll walk into a room, and all of a sudden, everyone feels how they're feeling because it's high amplitude. It's really heavy. It's big. So I just wanted to tune in just to give that little framework. It's like, how can you add more juice into what you're already doing? Meaning happiness, joy, those are amplitude things. Love, right? If you love something or love people or love helping, your whole field starts to expand without needing to push. It's not a push to amplitude, it's a expand past yourself and beyond yourself to expand amplitude. So you tap into higher amplitudes. You don't try and generate it. If you try and generate it, you'll blow a fuse. You're trying to push energy. But what you need to do is become the energy. And then that's kind of the metaphysics behind it. Justin, I would love to tune in to your perspective on that.
Yeah, I'm curious, what do you do, Augusto? What do you offer?
Yeah, so I offer hypnotherapy. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's about if I want, because you shared a lot, and I'm glad because there's a lot of context to your question. But if I am looking to reflect the question back to you so I can respond to it. So is it that you want to know how to show up authentically with your presence to attract the right people? Is that a right way to
No,
express?
it is more the fact that obviously using our authentic being ourselves and showing up as ourselves in the intention of how we present ourselves to bring in the marketing. Because if we're not being honest or authentic within ourselves, how can we be authentic in what we're attracting into our field? Makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense. So what is the question though?
Just showing up for ourselves and being authentic. And the question is really how we are showing up in our intention and showing up authentically in what we are promoting and serving of service to others.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I get it. Yeah, yeah. So one thing that you mentioned is demographics. One
Yes,
thing that I like to focus on more as a marketer is actually more psychographics. And this is something that I learned from mentor. Demographics like, age, gender, but psychographics is like what do they think? What are their values? What do they believe? You know? So I focus on that a little bit more and I like to share that with others because most people hear demographics when they think marketing. Um, I also really, I mentioned it earlier because I believe in it, and it's what happens when you're an expert. You say the same things over and over and over again because you believe in it, and it's just like different every time, and the people who haven't heard it need to hear it from you. Again, like you're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you used to be. So if you're looking to connect with your audience, who is the version of you before you had that transformation for yourself? Like that's the authenticity. It's relatable because you want people to have the benefit of that transformation, but the resonance is like, well, who are you before that? Um, and also a lot of people think about the niche. Right? They think about the niche. What is the niche? Who's my niche? And I often invite people to reflect and contemplate. You are the niche. You are the niche that people are going to attract to your brand because they feel that resonance, right? So it's like people think about the niche externally, like who am I meant to attract? Who is this offer for? But the resonance is again a mixture of that, like you showing up as your authentic self, sharing your values, your beliefs. Um, and I also have a replay of a Skillshare in my community called Authority Artifacts. You can check that out if you want to hang out in my community. I'm honored to have you there one way or another to benefit from networking calls, conversations with creators, some of these resources. But I have something called Authority Artifacts where you channel your unique experiences, your struggles into your offer. So your struggles then shape your views, your beliefs, and your perspectives that then shape your unique methodology, which shapes your offer, which means people can only get that offer from you because no one else's offers have been shaped from unique experiences. So if you want to talk about like authenticity and resonance and like telling your story and have it resonate with others, there's a few insights and I love talking about this stuff. And Authority Artifacts is a great resource in my community that I did a Skillshare live for that people were blown away from. And there's an AI prompt that helps you dive into it so that you can channel your story into your unique mechanism that then channels into your offer. So when you talk about it, it's like wow. I don't want to work with someone else for that outcome. I want to work with Augusto because his experience that contributes to that outcome, I can only get from him. Like that's the hole I need to fill. Yeah, cool.
I love that. And I noticed that some people are jumping off, have to go to work. So
Yeah.
I just dropped Justin's school in the chat. So anyone who's coming from my space, go ahead if you haven't already, because I've introduced some of you guys. But go ahead and check out his school. Spread the love. Get the art. I want to check out the artifacts, bro. You sold me on it. I
Dude,
want the artifact thing, dude.
Authority Artifacts, man. I don't want to get
Yeah.
into it now because it's a whole Skillshare, but I've teased it. I mean, it's what it sounds like. Artifacts, timeless,
Yep.
unique, stands out. It gives you authority. People want to buy your offer. You become a, not only are you a neat, I'm getting excited because it's marketing stuff, right?
I know.
Not
And
only are,
notice.
not only is it that you are the niche, you are a niche of one, right? Like no one else has your offer if you channel your story into your offer and your unique mechanism. Um, yeah, go ahead. We have a
And
few more
what I
hands.
want to just because I'm a master hypnotist, so like I want everyone to go back to the replay and just listen to the words he used when he's describing the thing, the artifact. It's a thing I can hold,
Mm.
right? And he was using all these words, which are outcome driven words. And I'm just like, I feel like I have to go check it out now. So that he just gave you a little masterclass on the juice right there. So thank you for that. I want to tune in and get a couple more questions. Augusto, my guy, thank you for tuning in and sharing that question. You've revealed the artifacts. So now let's go over to James, and then we'll see if we can squeeze Will in with his neon blue. I love it. So, Mr. James, what do you got for us, brother?
Afternoon, gentlemen. It's just a quick one. It's not a question. It's just something that Justin. Hello, Justin. Nice to see you, and look
Yeah.
forward to having a chat with you on Monday. The You were talking a few moments ago about in networking. Let's rewind. Marketing terms, and use the analogy of a magician that, and I can't remember the word. It's just because I didn't write it down. I was writing a couple of other things. Is it manipulation?
Manipulation, yeah.
Right. You use manipulation. Is that what we do or people do in marketing terms? I don't know. That's one of the things that I found is that I've been a victim of, and I'm sure there's others I've spoken to
Yeah.
that have been victims of people being manipulation, especially in this line of work. I'm sure there's many others. And something I just wanted to throw into you because my background is in negotiating large oil contracts. And so what we had to do was influence people. And there is a huge difference between influence and persuasion. From a psychological point of view, persuading somebody to do something is really erring on the side of unethical because they don't really subconsciously want to do it and they may go along with something. But influencing somebody is allowing them to make the decision themselves, and all you're doing is helping them see the if you do it ethically, that you'll help them see the valid points that's going to take them to the journey of what James was talking about is what is the outcome they want to have. And so that's from a psychological point of view, I believe is really important is the difference between influence, persuasion, and I've forgotten the word again,
Manipulation. Yeah.
manipulation that the magicians use. Because at the end of the day, we're here to help people, and the word influence is the word really that I believe is what we have to do with, as long as it's ethical influence to help people. And there's lots of ways of doing it. I mean, James, through hypnotherapy and these sorts of things, that is an influence. Getting someone to do something, but you're doing it ethically. I just wanted to throw that in because I started studying marketing about 7, 8 years ago, and I didn't know what I was doing at all. And if I could just throw this one last thing in, I'm sure you've heard of a guy called Dan Kennedy. He just flipped my lid when he said this one thing, which was you want to be a welcome guest, not an annoying pest. And if you use that, and I just suddenly thought, holy smokes, if you look at that as your business moving forward, one of your values, it makes so much sense. I just wanted to throw that in. Otherwise, loved all the stuff you guys were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah.
So good. Yeah, and drop a one if you guys want me to have a potential podcast conversation with Mr. James too and his expertise because this is my I love talking to really cool people because I learned very early on as a dancer and a dance instructor is if you rub elbows with the best dancers in the room, eventually you become one. So I have not done negotiation. I've done sales, a little different. So if you guys want to tune in, I was chatting with James, and he's very very knowledgeable. So thank you for sharing that into the space. I believe that we're all weaving a magical web of transformation, and that's the wisdom of the group. So thank you for tuning in. And let's kick it on over to Mr. Carter. Will Carter, what's your question for us, brother? And then we'll
Not a
close up
que
the space.
Yeah, not a question, but I wanted to come up and say thank you to you both for bringing together so many people who have such an overlapping field of interest, right? You mentioned, James, good to meet you, by the way. I'm also a hypnotherapist, identity coach, and I work with entrepreneurs. Yep.
Yeah.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
And
I knew it, guys.
and I've done 20 years in
Resonance.
sales, so I feel like there's a conversation that needs to happen here. But you also mentioned D&D, and I'm holding a D20, which is kind of like my fidget spinner.
Uh-huh.
So, man, you're on it. But yeah, great conversation. And to James's point just now, Dan Kennedy also wrote a book called The Gap and the Gain, and it's such a good, if you haven't read it yet, it's a mind shift that is so powerful. But yeah, I just wanted to say amazing conversation, and I would be remiss if I didn't come up and say hi. So that's all.
Oh
Yeah.
man, thank you. Drop a two if you want. Will chat with Will. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
fun. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Justin.
I'll mention Will a little bit because, this is not a networking call, but I do believe in networking, right? And I love cross-pollination. I love connections. I love people meeting each other. Like I've had a call with Will before, and I was talking about identity. Will and I have talk conversations about identity. He's also really into practical manifestation, which I'm really into too. Like not the manifestation that most individuals understand it as you just feel good and you hope and you pray, but like what is the science behind manifestation? So that said, like if you've connected with someone cool on this call or they've said something you want to connect with them more, go for it because we're here to connect.
And also in the communities, one of the really good strategies that I found, my friend Jason told me about. After you get on a call like this or a networking call, what you can do is you can make a post about it in the group you found the person in. And what happens is, I took this full day workshop. It's called Marketing for Hippies, and you guys can tell by my background, there's some alignment there, right? and his name is Tad. And one of the things I learned there, he spoke about this concept called hub marketing. Hub as in like the center point of a wheel, right? The circle. So hub marketing. And the metaphor that he used, it just blew my brain. So I'm not familiar. I know of Dan Kennedy, I believe his name is. I haven't really studied his work, but I really like this idea because it just resonates with my heart so much. And he said, if you make custom wooden hand carved beer steins, right? And you just like pour your heart and you just love beer. You just like that's just what you do, and that's you want to make a business out of it. He's like, what are you doing going on Facebook and Instagram trying to like, here you go. Like, that's cool. I have a social media presence and stuff like that. But he's like, go to Oktoberfest, go to Oktoberfest, and then find whoever is the happiest person in the room, the social butterfly in the room, hand him a free beer stein and say, hey, bro, just, if you see anyone who asks about this thing, right, just send them my way. And now what happens is they go and have fun. They do what they're good at. And this is why Justin, I love Justin and connecting with him because he helps. He has the resource in his community to help break down what kind of entrepreneur you are, what kind of special superpower you have. And one of mine is the galvanizer. I learned that from him. And as soon as I heard that, I told my wife, she's like, yep.
Yeah.
And the galvanizer brings people together and moves them in the right direction. I have some weaknesses too. So when you know your strengths, you can alignment with people who don't have those weaknesses and do have the strengths that are complementary. And then you can co-create and build something 10 times bigger because was it the law of emergence? It's like one part plus one part plus one part, a camera, a notebook, and a phone. On their own, they're like, okay, that's cool. But you put them all together, you get one of the best selling technologies in the world. It's called the iPhone, right? It's the law of emergence. When you put 3, 4, 5 things together that don't go together, all of a sudden it multiplies the value if, of course, the market is open to receiving it. But oh my gosh, I just got so excited. We have 5 minutes left. Will, let's chat. Heck yeah. And let's open it up. Are there any last questions? Any just how about this? This is what we'll do. Justin, if you want to take it somewhere else, let me know. I'd love to go around little quick 30-second share so I can hear everyone's voice.
Yeah.
After we chat with Stephanie, what's the
Yeah,
biggest
cool.
gold nugget takeaway? What do you think, Justin?
We're gonna call Stephanie first.
Yeah, Stephanie raised her hand, and I've been feeling called to Stephanie the whole time because she's like, so I want to connect with Stephanie too. Stephanie, what do you got to share into the space? I'd love to hear it.
Hey, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I just feel like this is a beautiful call. I'm starting to be aligned with the people that I need to be aligned with, especially when it comes to business. I'm all about co-creating and sending the people that come to me to other people. I want to be a tree and then I want to expand all of the branches out to everybody else. So that is why I'm here. Thank you for this. And I just think that you both together have a great synergy. So I appreciate this call. I like the back and forth. I like the vibe. I like the being able to be grounded and then being able to be wild at the same time. My husband is the brake and I am the gas pedal. So we have that type of vibe going on, and I can see that in here. So I'm looking forward to more. So keep giving it, keep giving it. And then I'm going to spread my people your way. So
Yeah.
Same here.
I connected with Stephanie on a call recently because I like to connect. You don't really know someone until you spend some time conversing with them. In the short first conversation I had with Stephanie, there were like 10 plus synchronicities that unfolded in our conversation. And I love synchronicities and the definition from Carl Jung, who coined the word. He didn't create the dynamic of synchronicity, but he did coin the word synchronicity. It's when an outer condition matches your inner state. So you're thinking about something, you're experiencing something inward, and then something outward happens, and you're like, wow, how is that possible? And when I was talking to Stephanie, like, whoa, this is like my experience, and now we're talking about this, and talking about alignment, I like to interpret synchronicities as like when you're operating in alignment with yourself, you're experiencing more of these synchronicities, which is like an indicator that you're on the right path. Yeah, take it away, James.
That makes me so happy. And as a hypnotist and a hypnotherapist, metaphors hold your life. Metaphor and story holds everything.
Mm.
It's called the metaphor, right? It's bigger than everything else. The meta. And one of the things I just noticed is Stephanie's metaphor of who she wants to be is the tree. I want to be the tree, and my branches and I'll send you the fruit, the energy, the glucose. I'll send you the stuff. And one of the big metaphors I just had a conversation with Arthur. Me and Arthur, he's the 21st century knights, and he is a keeper of Avalon, and he's also a hypnotist in training. So we had a podcast, and we journeyed into Avalon, the Lady of the Lake. You know, the sword and the stone I had right here in my background, the sword of truth, the sword of forgiveness. And we spoke about, in the interview portion, we spoke about Kabbalah, the tree of life, Idrisil, I believe, the druidic tree, the 9 realms, right, Arthur?
Yggdrasil is the
Idris,
Norse one.
Interesting.
Yggdrasil.
trees. And where is she? Trees. Where am I? Trees. We resonate. So when you feel that bzzz, the frequency and the amplitude is there, magic, 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 magic. So, Justin, I'll kick it over to you if you want to maybe close us out so we can. The first time ever we're closing on time in my container. It's must be Justin.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'd like to go around and you said it, you
Very good.
almost did it. Like, what do people want to share? Like anything. You want to share an insight, gratitude, go around, and if you want to share, that's cool. If you want us to skip you, that's okay. Actually, you just speak, take turns, right? We don't have to nominate people. If you want to speak, we just go around and if you feel like you want to say something, something you receive, something you learn, an insight, feeling, just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll kick it off. Thank you so much for the hero's journey. That was really, really valuable. But the other thing that you said, and I think it was Justin, but could have been either one of you, said, I am the niche and the
Yeah.
niche of my story. And one of the things that I've learned is that people are always looking for their essence. They are their essence. It's very simple. It's the same, right? We are us. So thank you guys. This was awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. We are us. That doesn't sound like a cult.
Next time I'll talk about cult-like marketing in your messaging, but how to inspire a good cult, you know? It's funny you say that. Yeah.
Bro, let's do it. We'll get in there. Love it. All right, who's next? Jump in, 30 seconds, share, gold nugget, takeaway, anything you want to tune in with.
I'll jump in if you like. So yeah, I want to say I loved it tonight or today, should I say? It's probably tonight over there, I don't know. But absolutely loved it. The synchronicities I can definitely vibe with. As one of the things I like to do is break down every synchronicities. So I'm totally in with that. I love all the metaphors, and I love the way you two work together. Yeah, I can definitely see the synergy that Stephanie was talking about. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
I'll jump in as well. One thing I wanted to say that you said, Justin, which really stood out to me, probably because it's alliterative. Communities are containers for conversations. That was beautiful. So yeah,
Yeah.
just another thank you from me.
Yeah. I didn't catch it, but now that I'm aware of it and it was meaningful to you, I'll be sure to share that more. Thank you.
It's powerful.
I'm writing it down too. That's a gold nugget that I didn't get. The communities are containers for conversation. I love alliteration too. Hashtag Justin Yip. Who's next? Beautiful. Last, going once, going twice. We love you. Very good.
Close us
And
out. Yeah.
close. Deep
All
breath
right.
in,
So
deep breath in. And relaxing down and out. Just closing the space, closing the container, letting go of the intention. Thank you for the alignment and the connection. Justin, any last words for the people?
yeah, just thank you for your presence. You know, grateful to everyone who came together and, in synergy and doing things with people. Sometimes you do things you wouldn't do on your own. And I tend to be an overfeeler, overthinker. I'm like, hey, James, we should do something together. And he's like, all right, Friday, let's do it. I'm, really? We got the plan, like the thing. Wait, like, just invite people to your community. I'll invite people from my community. It'll be great. So that said, we thank you. I thank you. We all thank you for just your presence, especially if you're still here with us. I mean, I know some people had to go, but thank you so much for spending an hour and a half of your time with us when you could be doing anything. So just so grateful. I want to honor your presence. And, I look forward to connecting with all of you more because we're doing what we're meant to do. We're doing the cross-pollination, which also makes me think of trees and nature, and we're growing and connecting and we're weaving. So again, thank you so much for being here. You're all awesome. And yeah, go out there and share your purpose. Feel that U-shaped hole in the world that only you can feel. Thank you, everyone.